Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Nick, and this is Cover 4 with the guys. I got my two co-hosts with me. I got Marquise, got Terrance. Terrance, how you doing tonight, man?
Doing good, ready to get into this topic tonight.
All right, Marquise, how you feeling tonight, man?
I'm living good. I'm rocking the stay-at-home dad life this week. I don't work till the end of the week, and bro, it is amazing. Well,
All
stay-at-home
right,
dad, dog dad. It's amazing.
I got you. I got you. All right, that's cool. That's cool. So last week, everybody, if you tuned in, you know that we did the NFC East. We're gonna get running through these divisions. I'm the host. I'm a Falcons fan, so this week we are gonna be doing the NFC South. Marquise, I'm gonna kick it off with you, man. So how do you think the outlook for this division is gonna be record-wise going on for the season?
I think it's a really weird division in a way. The Bucks are obviously going to win it. I don't think even if Tom Brady, Father Time, catches him, the
We're all
defense
waiting
is
on it.
the defense is way too good, and he isn't going to be that incompetent. So
Yeah.
they're going to win this weird division. That's how I see it shaping out
Yeah,
for them.
especially when you can pretty much plug in anyone at quarterback with those weapons, and you'll have some success. Yep. All right,
Anybody.
Terrance, how you feeling? Who do you think's gonna win the division? Are we in agreement? Is the Bucks, or you got somebody else?
Yeah, I definitely got the Bucks winning it still. So actually, to just to give a little quick breakdown of it, I mean, I got the Bucks number 1.
Okay.
I got the Saints 2, Falcons 3, Panthers 4. So that's my order. So,
What are the record outlooks for you?
so I ain't even honestly have a record for it.
Okay.
Just based off of football knowledge and everything, I broke it down based off of.
Okay.
Oh, I got a record for him.
Okay, Marquise, break it down for me.
I got the Bucks going 12-5. I think it was a split with the Saints. I think they split a game with the Panthers, and then they run through the Falcons. I got the Saints going 10-7. So it's weird I don't mean if I'm like stepping on the toes for this later, but I got the weird thing is the Saints are gonna have Jameis, right?
Yeah.
And then the Panthers got Sam Darnold. Both of them are turnover machines. Like, they'll just turn the ball over. And the good thing, James, is he learned under Drew. He got a coach that is a genius on offense. He should
And
do
they say
fine.
something about he got eye surgery too, so I don't know if that's gonna help.
Exactly. So he should do fine. I got him leading the Saints to 10-7. It's not going to be Taysom Hill. I mean, I don't think it is, because the fact that it is, if you can have Jameis throwing to Taysom Hill at the same time, while like a defense has to prepare for both of them, I think that's better than, we're just going to let Taysom play, and then they let Jared Cook go to the Chargers. So it makes sense to have Taysom Hill tight end now sometimes.
Yeah, well, and also I think the other thing is, and I don't know what, I know that a lot of people probably just have to put out these depth charts, but as of right now, they actually do have Taysom Hill as the starter.
It's crazy.
I mean, but
we'll get into that topic later.
Sean Payton did, promise him, the opportunity for the job, if Drew Brees was to get hurt, retire, or whatever. So
we saw it in the playoffs, and then leading up, or not in the playoffs, leading up to the playoffs when he was hurt, that he did give Taysom the reins, and he did beat the Falcons. He had some success.
Honestly, I think though that even last year, the only reason that Jameis didn't get the go ahead was just they didn't want to pay him because they knew he was going to hit the numbers.
Yeah, off that 1 year deal and everything. So, Marquise, how did you have? I know you have. So you have Bucks, Saints, and then who'd you have after that?
Saints 10-7. The Panthers are going to go 8-9. They're super stacked on offense, like ridiculous talent. The line is somewhat better, and they picked up defensive pieces. So Sam Darnold, his completion percentage, that his high percentage was off of screens, and the Panthers are going to run plenty of screens.
Easy
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna keep it easy.
That's gonna be fine. And I got the Falcons going 5-12. We know Julio might leave. If Julio leaves, they're probably gonna get draft capital, maybe a defensive player, or something like a role type of players to go with the team.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nick is on the bandwagon of noodle arm. Matt Ryan isn't gonna do anything. So I don't feel this way about you, Matt Ryan, but Nick doesn't like you.
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, if he's not good, and then they're getting assets for Julio, if you're taking Julio out the equation, it makes them less competitive, because then you could just do what Dallas does and get in shootouts with everybody. You could just be like, hey.
So I've already sent y'all the graphic and everything, and actually this is something I want to say about the division overall. So I got the Bucks at 14-3. And let me explain my records here after I break it down. So I got the Bucks at 14-3. Falcons at 11-6. I got the Saints at 9-8.
That's gonna be a crisp $20. I get it, boy.
And Panthers at 6-11. So the reason why I have the division doing so good, though, I think outside the Bucs, it'll actually be a lot of fool's gold. So I know Marquise hit me with the text. He said, "You sound like a fan right here." But the reason being is the whole division has, I think it was 22nd is the hardest ranked schedule that they have. So, and what I mean by that is they had the Bucs and the Falcons, Saints, and Panthers are all outside of the top 20 in difficulty. They have the easiest schedule out of any division. The only teams that have harder schedule or easier schedules, are the NFC East, and God knows they need it. So the Falcons have the 30th ranked schedule. So that's why I think that they'll have a lot of easy games. And the teams that they're playing also have bad defenses. So when it comes to shootouts, I believe in the Falcons. If it was like them versus a bunch of defensive juggernauts that lack offense, then I would see the case. But yeah,
they're gonna go play the Eagles with Darius Slay, right? Darius Slay is gonna guard Calvin Ridley, right? So
I'm not hearing this.
Wait. He's gonna guard. He's gonna. No, they're gonna dog walk the Eagles. Don't get me wrong, but he's gonna guard Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley isn't gonna get off of him. Calvin Ridley probably goes 5 receptions in a tub for like less than 70 yards, which at the end of the day, that's a good job for a corner, right? Then he's gonna go see William Jackson from Cincinnati. He's on the football team now with Kendall Fuller. That's going to be a tough because he's not going to get Julio on the other side of him. Like Julio's going to be gone. And Calvin did do good last year, but Julio's going to be gone. You're going to get a young guy in Kyle Pitts. Everybody says he's NFL ready. I get it. He looks like a freak athlete, but sometimes people just are slower paced than others when lights are on, fans are in the stadium.
I'll even be fair. Let's think about what people said about O.J. Howard. Remember O.J. Howard coming out of Alabama, went to the Bucs. He was supposed to be what everyone's saying about Kyle Pitts right now. So I'll say that. So, but I am, and we're going off assumptions here. It's early predictions. We're assuming that Kyle Pitts is good. And the other thing is we have Calvin Ridley. We have Russell Gage. Russell Gage is to be determined. I believe he can be a solid number 2. But we have Kyle Pitts and Hayden Hurst at tight end. So we have a decent amount of talent and weapons. Also, I think Ito Smith has proved himself. He had a couple of decent games last year.
Ito Smith's your running back, and your center just went to the Niners, and you guys don't have a starting center other than whoever you picked up in free agency or whoever.
I have a quick take. I got a quick take on these teams. So, all right, let me know what y'all think. So we're gonna start off with, for me personally, I had the Bucs win the division. So, and the reason I had them win the division, and let's say for them, that was based off of keeping everyone, obviously, and then their additions. And last year, they won the Super Bowl last year without even winning the division. So this year, we're talking about them even winning the division, So what do y'all think about that as far as keeping everyone defensively, offensively, and, plus their additions? So obviously, I think we all have them number 1. So
they didn't have to get anybody. Like I feel like they just picked up Kyle Trask just to pick up. They knew they needed a backup quarterback, but I don't think he was first on the chopping list to get. But they know he played at Florida.
I feel like he was great value for where they picked him.
Exactly.
He's very smart, accurate. He can get the job done. Honestly, if you think about it, somebody had to get Kyle Pitts the ball in Florida, and it wasn't. Kyle Pitts was putting up the numbers by himself. And then even when Kyle Pitts was out, it wasn't like the offense was stagnant. Like Kyle he was balling. Like,
that Florida team wasn't like how it was in the past where like Tebow was just working with a whole bunch of talent. Like that Florida team wasn't as talented. So Kyle Pitts or Kyle Trask did have 2 Kyles. They both had to do stuff.
And for the first half of last season, he was kind of in that Heisman race. So, I think
it was weird too.
That pick felt like a Bill Belichick pick. So I want to know if Tom actually was speaking to the GM in front office and saying like, hey, if obviously we're not going to get one of these top quarterbacks for my successor, the best option probably is going to be like a Kyle Trask. So, I actually did like that pickup for them. Yeah. But Terrance, you kind of led me into the next part of this segment. So obviously we say the Bucs are probably going to win the division. We all agree. They've got an easy schedule, and they didn't reload because they just kept the same chamber loaded. They kept all 22 starters on offense and defense, and then picked up some extra pieces on top. So the rich get richer. What do we think the chances are that they repeat as Super Bowl champions? Who would be, their biggest obstacles in the NFC, and then obviously when they get to the Super Bowl in the AFC? Marquise, I'll start with you.
So repeating is really hard. Like it's not easy. Like in the NFL, like at any level. Like I'm talking like even like high school kids, college kids, like except Alabama anyway. But like it's hard at any level. And I just feel like for me, they'll get to the NFC Championship game. I don't think there's a reason that like unless Roger genuinely shows up for the Packers and then Jameis knocks it out the water with the Saints and they're really competing to get to that NFC Championship game, I think they're a lock to get there. Like I'd put money on they will get to the NFC Championship game. Do I have them get into the Super Bowl and winning? No. I think that is like extremely far-fetched because for me, all those AFC teams got better. And for me, it would have been scary for them having to play all those AFC teams. Like, for instance, if Mahomes' line was healthy, it'd be
we're talking about a different game. I mean, maybe not a win, but a competitive game. Yeah.
Yeah, because
it was a complete different game if his line.
Yeah, because then he's not running 500 yards in the back and not gaining any yards. So you have that. And then I brought up the Browns. So this was everybody's offensive ranking last year. The Chiefs were 5th. The Browns were 4th. The Bills were 3rd. The Ravens were 16th. And the Titans were 2nd, right? So the Titans off their offseason moves are probably the worst team out of that list because they let Corey Davis go to the Jets. Their corners are gone. Jonnu Smith's on the Patriots. Who is Ryan Tannehill going to throw the ball to besides AJ Brown? There's nobody, right? So that's probably the worst team. Somehow, yeah, maybe that's a big maybe. So maybe they shake that out. The Ravens somehow were 16th and won a bunch of games. It's crazy, but they improved Lamar's weapons. So that's going to be a different factor. The Bills, their line's ranked 3rd. They just went and grabbed Emmanuel Sanders. They're talking about getting Zach Ertz. That defense is really like that defense. The Ravens probably have the best secondary as a duo. The Bills corners have collectively like 4 or 5. Like we only have probably like 4. They have like 4 or 5 dudes that they can place out there. And the Bucs have to spread people out, because they have so many wideouts. They could compete with them. They have safeties and everything. The Browns got way better on defense. They're bringing back the same weapons. Odell Beckham's coming back. People are not sold that Odell Beckham is Odell Beckham or whatever you think. I think he's fucking amazing, okay? Other than him being injured, he is dynamic. You think Diggs is dynamic? Those two are crazy, right? So he's going to come back. Sure. He's going to come back healthy. Maybe him and Baker can finally get in that groove. They got John Johnson from the Rams, and they did get that corner, like you said. So they loaded back up on defense. They got Javion Clowney. The Chiefs stacked the offensive line now. I just think if you add up all those teams, your best bet is if you got to play the Titans. And there's no way the Titans are cleaning those other teams to get to the Super Bowl.
Definitely not. I don't see the Titans, making it the first, second round, honestly, if they make it to the playoffs.
So it's just
tough this year for sure.
It's just to me like them competing against those young quarterbacks, like all those quarterbacks. The only fault to why they never get to the championship game is because they all got to go through Mahomes. If they didn't have to beat him, it'd be a dogfight to see who gets there then. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't even think about I got to go beat Lamar or I got to go beat Josh Allen. Like they're like, I'm skipping all of them. I got to play Mahomes. You know what I mean? So I just don't see them getting to the Super Bowl. And if they do, there's those quarterbacks, even Baker in a run heavy offense is dynamic and he can move around. And then you add Mahomes ran 500 yards backwards. Lamar's not going to run 500 yards backwards, and neither is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Bro, those two are probably arguably the top rushers on their team and their quarterbacks. Josh Allen definitely is.
So who do y'all think is the biggest threat in the NFC? So I know you said, Marquise, you said New Orleans potentially if Jameis shakes out. Let's assume that the Taysom Hill experiment doesn't go. And they go Jameis Winston. Do you think that New Orleans can really compete in that, not only in that division, but in the NFC?
I mean, looking at it, how it's shaping up, New Orleans.
Their roster is top to bottom is great. I just happen to believe, in this day and age, you have to have a franchise quarterback.
And they lost Jared Cook to the Chargers. I feel like that's going to be tough because then that's really going to make Taysom Hill play tight end even more because they don't have a tight end.
Yeah.
I honestly can't see them putting him in at tight end anymore just because he is such a valuable asset as quarterback. But maybe,
But honestly, I feel like they should use Jameis. Number one, okay, we're going to start Jameis. And Taysom Hill has been for them over the past couple of seasons a guy that is just an athlete on the field. Like, you put him at tight end, you put him at receiver, you put him at quarterback, running back.
Fullback, shit.
He can play pretty much every position besides O-line.
Yeah.
You know, tight end, he blocks. So,
might
as well say. And the guy should be fast. So it's like, I feel like they should use him in that aspect still.
They just don't, like Nick, you were saying, who's going to be their competition? They don't really have someone out the NFC. Like,
that's my thing. So
there's not someone that's going to kill them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the other way I look at it is the NFL's a grind, right? So in something like the AFC playoffs, when you have those teams killing each other every week, and I know they get a little bit of breaks, between the AFC and NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. But I mean, when you got to go through that gauntlet, we saw it with the Chiefs last year. That's probably why their O-line was so beat up. And obviously COVID had to play in that too. But, you know, when these teams got to get
honestly, it might be a couple sleeper teams that we might be sleeping on. Like,
it could be a breakout team.
Let's look at the Rams. They just got Matthew Stafford.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly.
That defense.
What about San Francisco?
There's no way they don't have a good season. And then also, you can go, Keith.
You know, like you said, like Nick brought up a good point. You did too. I didn't think about those other teams. Like Matthew Stafford is gonna make a difference. Like he is not. He is better than Jared Goff. Like granted, he had Calvin, he had Megatron in the beginning of his career, but he has a cannon at arm, and they are receiver by committee with a strong defense.
Yeah.
So but the only good thing is the Bucs. What is in their favor is that the Rams, Seattle, and the Niners are in the same division.
Yeah.
So one of them teams, I mean, you saw what happened last year in the AFC North with the Ravens, Pittsburgh. If you have to go through and all three of those teams make it, that's going to be a problem. So just hope that all three of them don't get in, because all three of those teams, if you look at it, can beat the Bucs. And
that's kind of what I was saying with the Fool's Gold thing. I think an NFC South team will get in one of the wild card positions. And I think whoever it is will probably get smacked in the first round, just because I think they'll make it in because the schedule's so easy for them. Unless if I'm wrong and Jameis takes off, you know.
What about another dark horse like Chicago? Like, because I don't think Andy Dalton is going to start for that team. So.
Nah, they're not.
How far do you think Justin Fields? How good of a player do you think he could be in his first year?
I remember I said week 9 when Justin plays the Steelers, that's when they're gonna put him in.
That defense, like you said, is ready to win the championship, right?
It's been ready though. It's getting older now.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I don't think they added enough on offense to complement.
Think about it. Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles been playing like dumpster juice. So now that you have a guy that can actually hit these guys when they're open, not overthrow, like, oh, we got Darnell Mooney who's beating Jalen Ramsey on a double move and he's wide open. Probably was a touchdown. Overthrow. Like, how frustrating is that? Now you have a guy who's more athletic also as well in Justin Fields. And so now you have David Montgomery back there, read options. You got Tariq Cohen coming out of the backfield, maybe some speed options and things like that. I mean, it's a different dynamic, I feel like.
I guess it all just depends on Justin Fields at the end of the day and when they put him in.
Sure.
Yeah, like I said, week 9, I feel like that's when they're going to drop him in. He's going to be playing. Honestly, I would have put him in. I'd probably start him week 1, but it's the NFL and people are however they act.
Yeah.
Week 9, Pittsburgh is going to be in for some shit because it ain't going to be Andy Dalton at quarterback. Yeah, and they're going to game plan. They don't game plan to see Andy Dalton, but hey, I'm going to throw this out there. Pitt is one team that plays Lamar Jackson actually really well.
Yeah.
So if Justin Fields, if he's anywhere like that, they're going to play him pretty well if they know he's going to be the starter. If they don't know he's the starter, he's going to catch them completely off guard and probably light them up. But
I feel like Justin Fields is pretty, I don't know, I feel like they're the same, but then they're different. Like,
they're different.
Fields is more of a pocket passer, I think.
Yeah, he's more pocket, but he can get out there and run. It's just he's not anywhere as near as fast or as elusive as Lamar. So I think that's the difference. But I don't know if that's a dark horse, but a dark horse to beat the Bucs. Like the Bucs competition is gonna go. It's not Saints this year. It's gonna go the Rams, the Niners, and the Pack. The problem with the Packers is like this year. If Rodgers was going to come back, right, If you brought all your players back and you didn't let your center go to the Chargers, this would be a team again. It'd be the same. You'd run it back. But
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I actually think the Packers would be kind of like the Saints, even if Aaron Rodgers leaves, because that roster top to bottom, yes, the situation there, but the team top to bottom is a monster roster. I mean, that offense still is kind of like a plug and play. You got receivers all over the place. You got Aaron Jones in the backfield. The defense is pretty stacked. I mean, one of the best that the Packers have had over the last decade. So I don't even know, even with or without Aaron Rodgers, if the Bears would be able to win that division.
Oh, the Bears ain't winning that division. Will they be competitive? Probably, but win that division? Hell no. The Vikings are the Vikings are way too tooled up on offense to let the Bears beat them to win that division.
Yeah. And so moving on to that, so we've already talked about this one, so we'll just nip this one in the bud. So going into the Saints this upcoming year, we've already touched on the biggest question with them is who will be the starter for the team, or who will be the starter for the team. But I'm going to ask y'all who should be the starter for the team. As of right now, Sean Payton's already said that he's going to have Taysom Hill at the starting position. And I get it, the creativity options that come with Alvin Kamara in the backfield and what you're able to do with Michael Thomas, the slant god. What do we think going forward? Do we think that Taysom Hill could add a little bit more creativity with Sean Payton's play calling? Or is it just the smart football option to give Jameis that shot at quarterback? I'll start with Marquise.
I mean, for me personally, I would play Jameis. But now looking at it, you let Emmanuel Sanders go to the Bills, right? He was free agent, he left. So on the other side of Mike Thomas, you got Taquan Smith, I believe, and you don't got any Jared Cook. And you're in the cap limbo of this weird situation of maybe you can't even add any more talent. So if that's the case, you probably need to find a quarterback that is competent to back up Jameis and let Taysom Hill be a Swiss Army knife like you did last year. Because a linebacker can't cover him. A defensive end isn't going to catch him. His competition is going to be a safety. Just putting him if you keep him at quarterback, to me, I would just get rid of Jameis. Like, I wouldn't keep Jameis. If you said, hey, we're going to roll with Taysom Hill, he's going to be
starter. Like that's two totally different offenses. Like
it's completely different. Like, how are you going to – you use Taysom Hill as a Swiss Army knife, right? That's great. He does amazing in it. But then you're going to give him the reins as quarterback and make it kind of like a read option, a mobile spread offense or something. What is Jameis going to do with that? He's not fast.
Well, let me play devil's advocate really quick. The offense was completely different with both Drew Brees and Taysom Hill, and it worked last year. So I'll say at least, I think Sean Payton.
They honestly didn't score that many points with Taysom at quarterback.
And they didn't change it. They literally just plugged Taysom Hill and said, we're not changing it. We're keeping it this way. And you gotta figure it out.
But I actually do agree. I think that Marquise made a good point about he might have to do the Swiss Army knife. Because with the lack of weapons and everything, switch something up because we don't know what Jameis is going to be able to do. Is he still that turnover-prone machine? And if that's the case, we don't have someone who protects the ball like Drew Brees did, and losing all the weapons outside of, Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, what are they going to be able to do? So what do you think, Terrance?
So I actually have 3 reasons why Jameis should start. So for one, Jameis has a better arm or is a more polished passer.
Yes.
So do we agree on that?
Yeah, James.
Yeah, obviously.
2, which we've already been talking about as well, is Taysom Hill is, say, the Swiss Army knife. He's going to be able to line up receiver, tight end, quarterback, running back. He does everything. He can return punts, kick returns,
gadget plays, all that.
Yeah, he's different. And for number 3, Jameis also has the experience. Like he was getting into the shootouts with the Bucks and was really turnover heavy, but you got to think their defense wasn't that good. He had to try to get into the shootouts and put up big numbers. Did turn the ball over a lot, but sitting out behind Drew Brees and getting developed by Sean Payton. And I feel like that's going to really help him as well as getting that surgery that he had for his eyes and everything. I feel like we're going to see a totally different Jameis. I feel like for the stints that he came in, he looked really good. So I feel like if he takes over the reins, I feel like he's going to do very well.
I think like you said, he should have less turnovers. I give Jameis the same pass that I give Darnold, is that they have flipped offensive coordinators and all, like they get the same pass. Because to me, like, damn near the same player. I think Jameis is more talented, but
I'm about to say I actually think that's disrespectful. I think they're not even in the same universe. Jameis is
I think Jameis is way more talented. But I'm saying how they play on the if you said Jameis go throw 70 yards. Sam Darnold I feel like Jameis would beat him if you put him in a little workout. Jameis would.
I wish we had a fact checker but I'm pretty sure Jameis had a 5,000-yard season, and I don't think Darnold's come anywhere close.
He did, but look at all right, I'm not defending Darnold. But I'm saying put this in perspective. Jameis has always had Mike Evans. Mike Evans has always had Jameis.
That's fair.
One thing that's gonna happen is he gonna throw the ball to Mike Evans.
Yeah.
People bring up how Mike Evans is a 1,000-yard receiver. Mike Evans is a top 10 receiver. He's not top 5. He squeezes in the top 10. If you throw the ball 80% of the time and my receiver is 6'5", 6'4", and he's fast,
he's gonna go get it for you.
He's gonna and then you add Chris Godwin. He had weapons on that Bucs team. The thing that happened with Darnold, there ain't no weapons on that Jets. He had Robbie Anderson that one year. I believe he wasn't a Pro Bowler that year at the Jets. He almost was because he did good, and he was a Pro Bowler when he was the Panthers. So the hand that Jameis got dealt with for the Bucs is the hand that Darnold's getting dealt with the Jets, except for he got
minus weapons. I got you.
He got some arsenal at running back now because Jameis ain't never had a Christian McCaffrey. So I just feel like that it's going to be interesting to see how they shake it up. Like Terrance was saying,
they both have better teams as a whole.
It's way better constructed teams, but Jameis
and weapons. So.
Jameis should not be turning over the ball. With Sean Payton helping him, but
I think Sean Payton's really going to polish his game.
Exactly. Sean Payton polishes his game. This is another reason you keep Taysom Hill at tight end or a Swiss Army knife.
Whatever, right?
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Because Devin White is probably or Levante David are going to blitz Jameis. One of them is going to go after Jameis in the package, whatever defensive package scheme they set up, right? But if Taysom Hill a Swiss Army knife, they can't. They're not going to be able to send both linebackers or send one and one Levante David can go, and then Devin White can free relance around the field like he always does. Yep. Devin White fast as hell. He runs a 4.3 at linebacker. I don't know who decided to put him as his linebacker because that's insane. But if you got to make him guard Taysom Hill, that is a good problem to have. Because if I can be like, oh, well, I'm going to put Taysom Hill out there and Devin White is going to go follow him. Cool. All right, Mike Thomas, come across the middle. Devin White's not going to hit you.
Yeah, that's like your decoy,
Levante Davis probably going to pick up Alvin Kamara. That's a great plan to have. That is, I don't know. They just got to figure out, do they genuinely want to switch the offense completely for Taysom Hill? Taysom Hill's 32. Jameis is 27.
I just feel like Jameis is a more polished quarterback.
I agree.
Yeah, overall, he has the experience. I mean, we see he can get the job done. It's just now that you have an actual defense that you don't have to go out here and pass for 400 yards a game. You can hand the ball off to Alvin Kamara, and he can get 6 touchdowns in the game. So, he has a whole different dynamic just from a whole team as a whole. So I feel like we get to see his true quarterbackness this year.
You get to see that number one pick that was supposed to boom crazy. You get to see.
Yeah. This is his. As much as I agree with you that both Darnold and Jameis, this is your final look. We believe the difference to me is that we believe in Jameis. We believe.
Yeah, you seen flashes of Jameis. You could be really we can get behind
that guy.
Yeah.
But we just, whatever it was, whether it was the eyes, the constant coach roulette that you had in Tampa, whatever it was, So hopefully, Sean Payton does bring that down. But we brought up another thing actually, partially in that. So obviously, the Panthers are going to bring back potential MVP candidate, right? Christian McCaffrey. From 2 years ago. And then we got Alvin Kamara, 2 players that play very, very similar. You can do whatever you ask them to do. They can go get you. They can get you yards between the tackles. They can get you yards out in space. They can catch the ball, run routes, slot, whatever you need from them. Who do we think is going to have a bigger year? So Alvin Kamara, no more Drew Brees. He's going to get his number called a little bit more. We already spoke about it with Darnold. We're going to try to protect him from turning the ball over. Christian McCaffrey is going to get put right back in and asked to do the same. who do we think is going to have a bigger year? We'll start with you, Terrance.
So honestly, this was tough. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah. They like damn near the same player, bro. Like,
yeah, this was like a to each his own type of thing. It was like you're not wrong either way type of decision. But for me, for now, I'm gonna give the nod to CMC.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going CMC, so he missed the majority of last season due to injury, but he is a high usage player. So even when he was playing with Cam, we see whether it's a quick screen, he motions out, catches a quick screen, lines up at receiver, gets the ball, he does it all, runs between tackles, outside runs. He does everything, but I feel like the difference between them this year is, like we said, we don't know. It's questions with the Saints, who's going to be the quarterback. But then also I feel like Mike Davis left, and there's no reason for CMC to be having those, lingering injuries this year. And I feel like he's going to have a pretty good season. And I feel like, still over there in New Orleans, we still have Latavius Murray and Alvin Kamara. So I feel like, both of them played pretty well together. And I feel like CMC, honestly, is just going to come back on a vengeance this year. And I feel like what he was doing in previous years before last year, very high usage. And I mean, he gets a lot of touches. The offense, the focus point is on CMC to get the ball. And I feel like last year, Mike Davis, since CMC was hurt, he had a pretty good season because of that. Now he's with your Falcons.
Yep.
So I feel like this year, CMC is going to come back. And
quad father. The real quad father. Yeah, we got him. All right. That's all right. So what do you think, Marquise? Who do you think is going to have a bigger year this year?
Crazy. I'm going for the motherfucker that scored 6 touchdowns on Christmas. The motherfucker that was the Grinch on Christmas. Hear me? Like, I'm going the man that put up 6 touchdowns. The man that literally jogs in the middle of the game, walks, and then starts to run in full speed because can't nobody touch him. It's like, I feel like you said, Terrance, you can't go wrong with pick either one. Yeah. I just feel like Kamara is a little bit more elusive. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, he be in a tight spot and just get up out of there.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Like, he breaks tackles, he gets yards out there.
Yeah, like I feel like Christian, he'll run at someone more. And Kamara can, but he's just like, I'm just gonna make you miss before I even have to run at you. So let me just get through this little hole.
Yeah, Kamara, like his balance, like I know he does a lot of training to work on his balance and everything. Like if you see him, like the first man is never tackling this man. Never.
And you seen him stop on a dime though, like in the middle of that game. I think it was the Packers. He literally stopped. Yeah. And everybody just kind of was like trying to get him. It looked like he was playing tag out there with everybody.
It's easy. The game looks easy to him, honestly.
Yeah, but I just feel like if you remove Jared Cook, Emmanuel Sanders is gone. You don't know what you're going to get at quarterback with Jason or Tatum. I feel like, or Taysom and Jameis. I feel like you're going to his usage is going to go up even more than it already was. Like him and Latavius Murray are both going to touch the ball more because there's no tight end. And Emmanuel Sanders is gone on the other side. I think Mike Thomas is going to snap too, though, coming off the injury.
So I think we're all in agreement here. It really doesn't matter which way you go. The only reason why I'm sliding with Christian McCaffrey is because, and Marquise, you kind of touched on it earlier we know that Sam Darnold loves screenplays. So, and we know
100%.
how well, and we know how much Christian McCaffrey's damn near, I think he'll be probably the first running back that we'll see to transition once he gets a little bit older from running back to slot receiver. I think that he, just from a numbers perspective, might have a bigger year because I think he'll get a little bit more in the reception department to, supplement his running game as well. And like Terrance said, they're not going to have much of a running game outside of him. So pretty much everything is going to be on his back. But, like we already said, I mean, both of them are going to have monster years. They're both going to be asked to do more again. My only question with Christian McCaffrey is his health. He's had a couple injuries, obviously last year being the most detrimental. I hope the same thing doesn't happen to Alvin. But, if we get Taysom, what I would like to see, though, is even though Jameis should be the starting quarterback, if we could get some gadget plays between Taysom and Alvin Kamara, I would love to see something like that with the Saints.
Sure. They're going to run. Sure. They're going to run Wildcat. They're going to run all type of gadget plays where they're going to have both of them in the backfield or, running some kind of gadget plays for sure.
I think something that's weird that another reason why I didn't take Christian McCaffrey is he is going to be the lone wolf at running back now, but his offense is better than he's had it. Like this year, he touched the ball a lot, but he's gonna have Robbie Anderson. He's gonna have DJ Moore. Like he's gonna have weapons as to why Darnold doesn't. He's gonna throw at Christian McCaffrey. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel like Christian McCaffrey is gonna take less of a pass catcher role because there's pass catchers out there.
Yep.
I feel like
could it open up the field for him more if we got more defensive backs headed deep?
I feel like it's gonna be there. He just got injured, right? Like how you guys said. I feel like they're gonna try to dial back because like, hey, all right, we can't have you be a 90 catch running back and then go.
But 2 years ago, we had over 100. I think it was 116 catches.
But think about it though, like that was the game plan going to the game previous to him getting injured, and he was still getting 100+ catches a season.
But he got injured. That's the thing,
last year. But previously before that, it was like, okay, we got Curtis Samuel, we got DJ Moore, we got all these guys.
But Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore is like Curtis Samuel is really a speedster receiver, and DJ Moore a possession receiver, but he's a smaller dude. So it's like, okay, now we got 6'4", 6'3" Robbie Anderson out there with DJ Moore. DJ Moore can work in between the numbers even more now, and it's not like him and Curtis Samuels are running the same routes on top of each other, or they run the same route tree.
Yeah,
I just feel like
he's a matchup nightmare, just like Alvin Kamara as well. So I feel like him coming out of the backfield, whether it's screen, quick arrow, flat, whatever, he's gonna get the ball a lot.
Yeah. I just don't think that new coach is gonna spoon feed him and then let him get injured again. I feel like that's gonna be the drawback. I feel like that coach, he's gonna put more pressure on Darnold than he will putting the load back on Christian McCaffrey for him to get injured. Because let's be real, if he get injured, that's their team. I don't care. Darnold can go out there and throw 40 touchdowns and only 7 picks. Their team is Christian McCaffrey.
It is. That's the truth, though.
That's the God honest truth. Like that
he makes the offense go.
Exactly.
Christian McCaffrey makes the offense go for sure.
You can't let that man get injured again. Like you got to protect him. And if that means, hey, Darnold, we gotta develop you more as a passer, and we have the means to do so.
But that's why I feel like he's gonna have a bigger year than Alvin Kamara, just for the simple fact that I feel like you can plug in different running backs to that Saints system, just like Latavius Murray comes in after Kamara. He's gonna get his catches, he's gonna get his rushes, but it's a different dynamic. I feel like in Carolina, like we know, like you said, CMC makes that offense go. Without him, it's a whole.
Yeah, Mike Davis ain't there anymore. So I feel it. I just don't think. I feel like if I was a coach or an owner, like I wouldn't run that back. Like I feel like if I have big seasons. Yeah, I feel like if I was a fantasy owner, I would hope they do the same thing they did last year. But if I'm the coach or the owner, I'll be like, whoa, we got to dial this back. We ain't letting this man get injured, right?
Yeah. That actually kind of leads me into my next question for y'all. So obviously, there's a lot of new stuff and actually a decent amount of hope with the Panthers. I actually think they're 1 year out from being a real threat. And I think it all comes down to one man, and his name is Sam Darnold. So, we've seen that he's struggled in the past, and I beat up on him a lot. I think we've all kind of beat up on him a lot. But if we're a little fair for him for a little second here, he has not had any kind of help from coaching, from the franchise, from weapons, line. No matter where you look, this man has had zero help. And then having to play Bill Belichick and the Patriots every year has not helped. And then the emergence of the Bills. So
how much help can you give a guy that's seeing ghosts? I mean,
hey, I'm just saying, right? But going forward with this offense that we're talking about, that should be souped up. This is probably the best overall from top to bottom Panthers offense that we've seen since maybe that year with Cam. What do we think Sam Darnold's going to do this year? Marquise, I'll give you the floor first.
I don't know, to be honest. He's a turnover machine in college. College is whatever. College, people can boom in college or bust. You see the same thing with James. You did amazing in college, and then somehow in the NFL, you just have a flashes of being amazing. I think Darnold, if the Panthers don't bail on him and make this the year that he has to be great, I think he'll, in the future, like you said, 2-3 years, he will be a consistent quarterback for him. Will he be like, those young quarterbacks in the AFC and be a dynamic player no? Will he be like a Kirk Cousins, maybe a Chase Keenum? Probably.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think that's what it'll come down to. What will Matt Rule do with him? Will he put too much on his plate, trying to maybe protect Christian McCaffrey, or will he, just ask him to not turn the ball over and train him to, just get first downs and move the chains and let the defense win games for you?
I feel like you can put more on his plate. You just can't be mad if he turns the ball over. You get what I'm saying? Like, you put more on his plate to Christian McCaffrey, but don't make this the year. Like, if you're a Panthers fan out there, I don't know if there's any. Like, I know you live in North Carolina, cuz I know you ain't no Panthers.
I know plenty of Panthers fans.
All right. Don't be like, this is our year. We're gonna get to the Super Bowl.
You still got the Bucks. The Saints roster is still better. Yeah.
Bro, let Darnold learn. Let him get 2 years. If that man, say this year's rough, next year he blossoms, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Your defense ain't gonna let you win a chip this year.
No, definitely not. And I mean, the thing is, like, he has a lot going for him. I mean, I still have him last in the division, but I mean, I'm still not sold on him. But things he does have going in his favor, he does have CMC. We all know, one of the best running backs in the league. Then he also has that connection with Robbie Anderson already. So coming over to Carolina,
that's a smooth transition.
DJ Moore. I feel like, they're really high on him based off of everything that I'm able to, read upon him, and, the way that people talk about him is, the coaching staff and the owners and everybody in the Panthers organization is really high on Sam Darnold, and they really have, high hopes for him. So, like you said, hopefully if they don't give up on him this year, it doesn't have to be like NFC championship or bust type season. I feel like, give him another year to, like you said, I feel like maybe he can develop into a better quarterback, but I'm just not sold on him.
Like, you could put that pressure on Jameis, like, this is going to be your bust year. Like, the Saints can be like, Jameis, this is your pressure year. Like, that's 100% okay.
Yep. The only thing that I can knock Carolina for right now maybe is just the O-line and their lack of depth. Like,
it's getting better, but it's...
Yeah, their O-line isn't the best, so we have to see how they start playing, and then their lack of depth, like, just as a whole, like, from every position.
Their defense isn't dog shit or something, but like it ain't great. Like, they got Brian Burns, he's really good. They just got the corner. They got Horn, right?
They got J.C. Horn. Dante Jackson is a dog too, though.
Yeah, like they have people, but it's just putting it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. And I think that the biggest thing is like we said, Jameis, it's fair because he's had a legitimate shot with legitimate weapons, and we've seen that he can be great. But with Darnold, it really will probably come down to not making this his make or break year. Because we saw he wasn't able. Maybe he can handle pressure well, but he wasn't able to handle the pressure in New York. Maybe it was the big lights that New York provides. Maybe it was
them ghosts, boy.
Them ghosts, right? But hopefully, if they just look at him and say, "Look, bro, we're gonna give you like 2 years, 3 years to show us something. Let us build a team around you and just prove to us that you can protect the football." I think that he could really, really break out. And speaking of breaking out, so we got a couple new faces in the division. Who do y'all believe will have a huge breakout year in the NFL? It can be or in the NFC South. It can be a rookie, or it can be someone new to the division. It can be someone who's been around and just hasn't proved themselves yet. Terrance, who do you think is going to have a breakout year in this division?
So I think I got somebody who neither one of y'all should have, honestly. So
okay,
I'm going with a former first-round pick from Tampa. I'm going with Vita Vea.
Hey, you said that somebody none of us should have. That's who I have on this piece of paper.
Really?
I swear.
So, like Keith should know as well. I mean, he missed almost the whole last season with the leg injury, and their defense was turning all the starters. And then with his size and strength, it just has some poise for a great season. But I mean, just to give you somebody different from who Keith is going to give, he might be able to give a little more information. I feel like DJ Moore is going to have a breakout season this year. Losing, Curtis Samuel down here in Carolina, I feel like it's going to get a lot more touches, whether it's on the reverses, quick sweep plays, screen plays, and, having Robbie Anderson to take the top off at any time. I feel like, take a little bit of pressure off of him as well. I feel like he's going to have a pretty good season. Get a little bit of different type of quarterback. I feel like Teddy Bridgewater. I feel like he's just more of a game manager at this point in his career. He's not,
Good thing he on the Broncos, and ain't the AFC or the NFC South.
So, I feel like now they have Darnold. He's actually willing to take more risky throws and stuff. Hopefully he doesn't, but hopefully for your sake, Nick, he does turn the ball over and they lose. But
I do like that DJ Moore pick because they're gonna ask somebody to help him out. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey will be option one regardless if it's backfield or receiving. Sure. But if he can help Darnold, sometimes quarterbacks need help. You might miss the throw a little bit, go up and get it for him, right? So Marquise, we'll let you expand a little bit on Vita Vea.
So I got Vita Vea, right? He was ranked. Pro Football had him as top 10 defensive tackle. For me, like just seeing football since a kid, playing football, and then watching my cousin play football, a defensive tackle really can disrupt a lot. Like I'm not even saying a defensive end. Like your defensive tackle can throw everything off for a center. Like he just rushes him as soon as he snaps it. Like he can make him fold. Right?
You big and strong too. Like being paired up with a Dominican Sue, Shaq Harry.
Like there's way too many people, and he's probably the best at getting to the passer, I would say. But it's just they all feed off of each other. Like they all, you're getting overwhelmed. Like you got JPP on one side, a veteran who's consistent. You have Shaq Barrett, another veteran. Like all these guys both of those two have won Super Bowls. Like JPP won with the Giants. Shaq won with the Broncos. Von was the main piece in that, but he still was on that team and played and learned from Von Miller and still grew. So you got them. I just feel like Vita Vea, he played in the start of the season and then, he got injured and then he came back for him. Like he played in the Super Bowl. He did play. I want to say that was the game.
I think you touched as well. I'm a big person. I love statistics, but I think a lot of times statistics can either give you false hope or not paint the correct picture. Defensive tackles often don't get a lot of statistics because most of what their job is disruption, right? So someone who can just get up in there, they might not get the tackle, but they plugged all the holes that the running back's first option might have been, or, disrupted the vision of the quarterback, whatever it may be, thrown off the slide protection for the offensive line. So I like that pick. Vita Vea is definitely one of those guys that's a huge disruptor. He's some help.
He's a key piece in that defense because their secondary is. I don't care what anybody says. They won a championship, but that secondary is going to get picked apart without having Vita Vea disrupt the running game, because defensive tackles don't just impact the passing game. Like you said, they fill the holes for the running back. Yeah. They disrupt a lot. If he's not there again this year, like you're relying on Devin White to do even more than what he does.
We would definitely saw a lot more of exposure in that Tampa Bay defense if O-line was healthy.
And they changed the whole dynamic after he got injured. You guys remember when Kansas City toasted them the first meeting? They went from having the highest blitz percentage to they were like, okay, we got to draw back. Like, we can't blitz.
So my breakout player is, you could argue his breakout year was last year, but I think he's gonna take it from just proving that he can be a number one option to a potential Pro Bowl pick is Calvin Ridley. So we got an offense with, the Falcons just got Arthur Smith, is now our head coach. He was the offensive coordinator for the Titans, excuse me. And he runs a lot of play action, deep threat type plays and stuff to get receivers that also like to or excel at running routes into positions with one-on-one coverage. That being said, he's going to be called upon a lot. Matt Ryan, as much as I do not believe in him for the franchise, I think we've wasted years, is going to look for his number one option. And Calvin's going to get a lot of big touches in a division where we just said, yes, the Bucs have a ridiculous pass rush, but they don't really have someone who can match up one-on-one coverage-wise with Calvin Ridley. The Carolina Panthers defense is a little bit more of a suspect. The team I'm most worried about in terms of defenses in that division is the Saints.
They probably would have been all right if they would have hit on Vernon Hargreaves. I honestly thought he was going to be better.
Yeah.
Still pretty efficient. He's pretty good. I don't think he's you should have relied on him to be your number one corner like they did.
Yeah.
But I think that, if I was the Bucs, he's on the Texans right now. I would have brought him back if he was a free agent.
They could have developed him better, I feel like. He was locked down in college. So I feel like if they would have developed him better, I feel like they would have honestly still had him at this point, and he would have been like a consistent corner.
But the dudes they have, like, they're no bums, but they aren't they're not like locking down Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It took the safety coming over. It took you doubling that man. Like, let's be honest.
Ain't nobody really stopping that man
at all to begin with. So, and then Devontae Adams, like, you got a hobbled Mike Thomas they had to play with a Drew Brees that shouldn't even have been out there.
Yeah.
Y'all, they ain't stopping them dudes. Like they got, football is you got to get lucky at some point, and they did in turn get lucky.
Yeah. So I think I'm not saying Calvin Ridley can be Julio Jones. Maybe he could be one day, but he could definitely be a Roddy White who had a crazy career with the Falcons, and I think who multiple time Pro Bowler, was at one point a top 10 receiver. I think Calvin could enter that hemisphere this season.
Cal showed you the flash last year though, so I don't know how. Like for me, I don't know how much further he can take it.
Well, what I'm saying is he went from, because the first couple games, Julio was still wide receiver one,
and then he was by himself,
and then he got to show that he's a starter. What I'm saying is not prove that he's a starter, take it from starter to Pro Bowler this year.
Oh yeah, I mean he could have been a Pro Bowler last year if you ask me.
He had a lot more. He had more yards than a lot of the guys that we have in our top 5. So
I mean,
definitely go up there.
I feel like he's gonna have a good season. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you're losing Julio, but honestly, we're looking at some
future
prospect who can be potentially the best.
And then also,
Kyle Pitts.
This year, teams are going to be game planning for him. So it's also just proof to show
see
it wasn't just a fluke season last year. Yeah.
But he's also going to get it. It's going to work because him and Kyle Pitts, the same way he fed off of Julio, him and Kyle Pitts are getting the same thing. The only problem I feel bad for, as you're an Atlanta fan, Nick, is that you guys didn't go secure that backup for after Matt Ryan. So,
Well, and my thing about it is, so now people are going to think I'm even more crazy. I think we missed our window to move on from Matt Ryan. I think that all of his trade, I won't say all of his trade value is gone, but at this point, I think he's 37 or 38. I think he just turned 38 years old. We've seen quarterbacks can play a little bit longer nowadays. I think he's got like 2 or 3 more years that he can still be this. He's never had a big arm. I don't think his arm can get any weaker than it already is. So I think for what it's worth, we can squeeze a couple more years, and hopefully if with this Julio situation, the only reason I want picks is maybe there will be a quarterback of the future coming out, or maybe we can get a quarterback with the Julio deal that might be that next in line. I'm not too concerned with the quarterback situation because, as much as I've hated on Matt Ryan, the second that he's gone, we're going to go through a dark period because
it's going to be real dark.
It's going to be dark because, the weapons will be there. The weapons will be there, but there won't be a quarterback market for us.
He does ball. It's just y'all blow the lead. But he does put up good numbers though.
Going back to the statistics thing, if you just look at statistics, he's been top 5 the last 8 years.
Great statistics.
But when you come into the league with Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez, Devontae Freeman, like all these Pro Bowlers on offense.
That's crazy. Y'all ain't get a ring with that. I forgot y'all had Tony Gonzalez.
That was, I was mixing up years and stuff, but these are the weapons he's had throughout that. And we were only the top offense once with thinking about all the stuff we had. So I don't know. It's crazy. I think we've covered everything for the division this year. Going forward, so I got a little bit of overtime. Marquise had introduced a little overtime question for us. I think some of the people that have been watching enjoyed it. So this week, I got some questions for the guys. We're going to keep it in the NFC South, just see how much they know about the history of the division. Oh yeah. So I got some good ones for us. We'll really test really going to test the knowledge here. So starting first, I had the most sacks in NFC South history with 115. And just to be clear, these are just the career statistics while they played with their NFC South teams. Okay. So I had the most sacks in NFC South history with 115 sacks. Your options are Ricky Jackson with the New Orleans Saints, John Abraham with the Atlanta Falcons, Julius Peppers with the Carolina Panthers, and Warren Sapp with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bro, so you said it was only with the team that they played with the AFC South. I want to go Warren Sapp, but something tells me it's Julius Peppers.
That's what I'm thinking.
So y'all both are saying
I'll go with Julius Peppers, yeah.
Okay, so y'all both said Julius Peppers. Well, I'll just say this: y'all are both wrong. And Marquise, your second option was still wrong.
What?
Yeah,
I was gonna go them two. I had one of the two.
What?
So believe it or not, and they weren't even
close.
Julius Pepper was second. But it is.
Oh boy, a dog.
This is a throwback. It's Ricky Jackson. He had 115. He played the longest with his team. He had 115 sacks. I'm glad neither of y'all said John Abraham. I was disappointed. That was our highest leader in sacks with the Falcons. But yeah, Warren Sapp, I mean, you got to remember, he played with like Simeon Rice, and he was on the interior, so his job wasn't really getting to the quarterbacks. But being one of the greatest when it comes to it, yeah, I threw that one in there on purpose. So yeah, it's Ricky Jackson, 115 sacks. So moving on to the next one, we got who had the most rushing touchdowns in NFC South history. The number is 60. So 60 touchdowns rushing. Your options are Mike Allstott with the Buccaneers, Cam Newton with the
Bro, hold on. You cut out. We didn't hear you.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you muted me, bro.
Yeah, I was trying to mute myself because of the dog, but then I like clicked you. I'm like, oh, my bad.
All right. It's all good. I'll run that one back. So this one is for the rushing touchdowns leader in NFC South history. The number is 60 touchdowns for the career. So we had, are we going with Mike Allstott with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Cam Newton with the Carolina Panthers, Michael Turner with the Atlanta Falcons, or Deuce McAllister with the New Orleans Saints? Terrance, I'll let you go first. Marquise answered
this. Doozies, but I'm gonna go Cam.
Cam Newton, okay. Who you got, Marquise?
I'm going Mike Allstott, bro. I'm not big in this division, but if y'all would have seen, especially because we all from Florida, y'all know how these people is rocking with Mike Allstott. I hope he got 6 touchdowns.
Hey, so y'all's answer is hilarious. You're both wrong, but
but if you say it's Deuce McAllister, I'll lose my mind.
No, he's actually last. It's Michael Turner with the Atlanta Falcons, had 60 in his career. So, but what's funny about y'all's answer is Mike Allstott and Cam Newton both have 58 career touchdowns in the NFC South.
I knew he had a lot.
Bro.
And Deuce
Michael Turner?
Yeah, bro.
Really?
Do y'all? I mean,
I remember who Michael Turner is. I thought he was a dog. I just didn't think he had 60 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, you gotta remember, he was there during the dark period, like between Mike Vick and Matt Ryan, when all we had was that. You know, it was like all we did was just pound it downfield with him. He had just left that monster backfield in San Diego with LaDainian Tomlinson, Darren Sproles, and him.
Stacked.
Yeah, so that was one of the best. But I'll give you a fun fact, Marquise, when I was looking this up. The New Orleans Saints leading all-time touchdown leader is your boy Big Trust, Mark Ingram. So
that's my boy. You know what's crazy? People call Buddy a bust, right? Because he didn't pan like how he did.
Bro, he's there. Yeah, he was
in Alabama. Bro, he's not no bust. It's just people put these expectations on college players that they're supposed
just because you weren't as good in college.
Yeah,
he still had a good career.
Bro,
you know,
this man is productive. Like I'm mad he playoff teams let him go to the Texans. Like he went with our receiver coach that went there. Like
they got 4 running backs.
Yeah.
Bro, and he's good. Like he's serviceable.
What are the Texans doing? First of all, what are they doing?
Bro, in the world of I don't know what, Tyrod Taylor's there. Malcolm Butler, I think, is there.
Philip Lindsay, David Johnson, Rex Burkhead now.
They're putting out roster spots on Craigslist. That's what they're doing.
Bro, they're hoping that they just salvage together whatever, and it's gonna work.
Yeah. All right. So hopefully I got 2 more questions for us. You know, just in case neither of y'all get this one right. All right. So we got most receiving touchdowns in NFC South history. So I had the most receiving touchdowns in NFC South history with 72 career touchdowns.
Marquise Colston.
So your options are Roddy White, Steve Smith, Mike Evans, and Marquise Colston. So we know who Marquise's pick is.
Hold on.
All right.
Bro, Steve Smith played it was a rushing team. That's so crazy. You know, Steve Smith has a lot of stats where he's smashing people one
of the best blocking receivers there.
Bro, and he played on a team that ran the ball, and he's small.
Yeah.
He's stacked though. Yeah, he's stacked.
Oh, he's jacked, no joke. But I mean, still. Anyway, I'll go with the options again. I think Marquise got a little too excited.
I'm going Colston.
So again, your options are Roddy White, Steve Smith, Mike Evans, and Marquise Colston.
I'm not going Mike Evans. So
okay, so kiss Mike that Evans one away. Okay.
He's going Marquise Colston. I'm gonna go Roddy White because you're a Falcons fan, so I'm gonna go Roddy White.
Marquise, so Roddy White has the most in Falcons history, but you should have stuck with your gut, bro, because it's Marquise Colston has 72 touchdowns.
I knew it, bro. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Marquise Colston was so cold.
Bro, he's so cold for like 8 years and then just fell off. I don't know what. I think it's because he wasn't that fast, so he just couldn't keep up with it. But yeah, he was one of the coldest receivers for a minute. Definitely gonna go down as one of the most underrated of all time.
I'm so mad that I didn't stick with that.
Bro, you said it before I even gave you options, bro. I was like, come on now.
Bro, because I was just betting. I'm like, all right, he's a Falcons fan. Maybe he threw some random Falcons stat out there again.
Oh no, the random Falcons stat was Michael Turner, bro. That's the one you should have guessed.
I was thinking that.
All right, we'll just do the bonus one anyway. Terrance, you can have the dub because this one's just for fun.
Oh hell no!
All right, cool then. I don't got a fifth one, so y'all might tie. All right, so we'll go most receiving yards out of these four. So obviously the GOAT, the God, has the record in the division, Julio Jones with over 12,000. But out of these four, who has the most career receiving yards in the NFC South? We got Marquise Colston, Mike Evans, Musa Muhammad, or Roddy White.
You know what's scary? I'm low-key going Mike Evans because he won 1,000 the first 7 seasons. Yep. And Marquise Colston only had that time period where he snapped.
Okay.
And in Mike Evans' right, he snapped just as long. I'm not saying he's Marquise Colston, but he snapped in that same period. So, and Mike Evans still continuing to play. So I got to go Mike.
You go Mike Evans? All right, Terrance, who you got?
I'm going to go. You said the most receiving yards in the NFC.
Out of these four. The most of all time is Julio Jones, then it's Steve Smith. But out of these four, who would be the next 6, by the way? Or next 4 out of the top 6?
I don't know why something is telling me to go Roddy here. I'm going Roddy. I don't know why.
All right, Terrance, you went straight up because, it's Roddy White. He's the only one with over 10K out of these guys.
Get out of here, bro.
Yeah. So Roddy had
10K.
So Roddy had 10K receiving yards. Then it was Marquise Colston with 9,700. Then Musa Muhammad. Mike Evans actually last on that list, but he's only been in the league 8 years. So all these guys had years on him. I mean, outside of Marquise Colston actually, but all of them had years on Mike Evans.
Something was telling me, my gut was saying Roddy White. I just had to go Roddy White.
Yeah. All right.
We gotta tell the audience about the thing we got going on this month, boys. You want to tell them? You want to break the news?
You put it up, so you got this. I think I might actually. I don't know how much y'all still keep up with cardio, but I still run a decent amount.
I don't think you're beating us. I don't think you're beating 2 athletes. You might.
I played sports.
All right, so the guys. If this dog leaves me alone, we're gonna go let out. The guys this month we're gonna do something pretty cool. So we're gonna try to run we're going to run this month at least once a week. This month it's PTSD awareness. It's also LGBT.
Yeah, Pride. It's Pride month.
Pride. Yeah. So we're just going to run, just to get active. Not the pandemic might got some of us a little chunky. So it's big for me because I used to run all the time in the Army. My cousin used to run. Nick used to play sports. He still runs now. So every week we're going to go. This week the guy's going to run 1 mile. So from this Tuesday until next Tuesday, they have to run a mile. We're going to log the time. We're going to post the times on the Twitter page. And then we'll probably screenshot it, put it on the Facebook, maybe even the YouTube page. And then the second week, we're going to go up to 2 miles. Third week, 4. Bro, I'm pretty sure there's 5 weeks in June. I don't know, but I think there are. So we might be running 5 miles by the end of this. So the guys are going to time themselves. We're going to send it to each other. We're going to upload it on the Twitter page. Oh, Lord. So we're going to keep track of this and see who wins out. It's just some little fun competition for us to do.
Yeah, y'all follow Twitter and make sure y'all encourage us and keep pushing us and making us be accountable.
Yeah, actually, we're going to make a poll out of who you guys think is going to win. So we're going to make a poll of all of us. Hopefully you guys vote on it. I'll probably link it on the Facebook page too and just see who you guys think will win. I'm putting my money on myself. I got myself in this. Maybe Nick is going to be the surprise. I think I got Nick on the surprise.
I actually think
I feel like Nick is going to be the sleeper duty in it. So I feel like Nick might be the surprise, run away with it. And then we just had Memorial Day a couple days ago. Hope everybody stayed safe, remembered what it was for, and you enjoyed it. Got to spend time with your family.
Service, Marquise.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. It's not me. I just want people to know Memorial Day is not about veterans. I appreciate it, Nick, though, because people don't really say that, but it's about the ones that didn't make it, and the guys that either like sacrificed themselves overseas or committed. A lot of people in the military commit suicide. People aren't aware that happens, and then just appreciate that. People have made those sacrifices. Actually, I lost like my brother. He's like my friend. Died on his motorcycle. So I always like preach, like look out for motorcycles. Like, same way if you see like somebody drunk driving in front of you and you either sag way off and let them just do whatever, or you just pass them. I hope you guys have the same courtesy for motorcycles because it's real easy, bro. It's the same thing for me.
Some good for, especially, like you said, a lot of times we think it's just a long weekend, right? And we got to remember what it's really about.
Hey, folks. Hey, I don't know if y'all feelings about this long weekend thing. I heard that every weekend it was a long weekend in the Army. I'm like, ain't no Army person offended. I heard commanders with 4 deployments tell me, hey, enjoy the long weekend.
Yeah.
Bro, I ain't worried about it.
All right. So to wrap this up, we got Terrance who's going to do the word of the day for us. Terrance, what you got for us today, man?
Yeah, so I actually got 2 quotes for y'all today. So one of the quotes is, only surround yourself with people who will lift you higher. So we want to make sure that, the people that we are surrounding ourselves with are giving us the same type of energy that we are giving off. Want to make sure that, that same type of positive energy that we're putting out into the world, we want to be able to receive that from Marquise, Nick, people that we, hold near and dear, make sure that that same type of energy that we're putting out, they're also putting back into us as well. Y'all got anything to say about that? Cool.
Yeah, I think it's just keeping. Oh, my bad, Nick. Go ahead.
I mean, we're probably gonna say the same thing. I mean, definitely, you want to surround yourself with the type of people that are gonna, not necessarily, no one needs their hand held, but someone that's also, got their own path, their own vision that'll, y'all are trying to help each other improve by making yourself better first. So definitely want to surround yourself with those types of people.
Yeah, just like Nick said, pushing off of that, just people motivate you. Sometimes you outgrow people, so you gotta gain new people in your circle. You end up linking up with people that got the same agendas as you. You got, like you said, you motivate each other. Your family's a big one. Friends, just like I have a friend that listens to this podcast, Adam Ibrahim. He's going to Tennessee, University of Tennessee. He's about to be a volunteer to get his PhD. To need honesty, bro. We push each other all the time, and I'm geeked to see him go do that. So I think it's just having the right people around you and just motivate. And don't let like somebody, if they're your friend or and you're really close and they're in your inner circle, don't let them like fall off the wagon. Push them. Like, if their goals and ambitions, which you should, like if that's your inner circle, push them. If you see them like falling off, we got these miles coming up. If Terrance see me not running, or I don't tell these boys the miles.
Yeah. Hey, it's Friday, bro. Where your miles at?
Yeah. Hey, Tuesday's the deadline. If it hits Sunday and I gotta go out there, hey, I know you got the family day going on, Terrance, but hey, you got a mile to go around. Leave the kids alone.
Yeah.
Put on Shark to do and let them watch that for at least however long it's gonna take you to run that mile. But yeah, that's how I feel about it.
And then the second quote that I also want to say as well is to never let the things you want make you forget the things you have. So just making sure that we are appreciative, grateful, the things that we do have in our lives. And do you have anything to elaborate real quickly on that?
Yeah, I feel like as a kid, you don't appreciate the things you want as much. And then I feel like as I got older, like I know all the stuff my mom did for me, and I like appreciate it even more. I should have appreciated it then. I did, but I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. It's just the little things. Like parents are a big deal, especially like moms, dads, like your inner circle and stuff. Just appreciate the thing you got. Like I got lights, electricity, a house I live in. I got a car. I'm lucky enough to have a job. I'm lucky enough, to have the experience I have in my life. I feel like you just got to appreciate it, and it's not so much of, oh, I want this, I want that, take a step back occasionally and just, push yourself for those wants, but look at the stuff that you needed that you already got. Like, you got your house, you in your house, Nick got his apartment, Nick's in school, you got your job. Like, that's like, take a moment to look and be like, damn, like I did that, or I did what I was going to say I do. And I knocked those wants or those needs off that list. and I can appreciate that first. I feel like that's a big thing too.
Yeah,
no, I agree 100%, man. I actually had a basketball coach growing up, so the exact same thing. He's like, people trade what they want most for what they want in that moment, and sometimes, making those little sacrifices, it's easy to say like, oh, if I, slack off today doing this, like I'll be cool. I always got tomorrow. We always think that we got tomorrow, but tomorrow's never guaranteed.
That shit ain't never promised, bro.
Exactly. So take care of those things that you need, and those wants will come from that.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. You can allude to that. I got something else to add too if we wrapped up the word of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to give a big shout out to, the YouTube subscribers. We got like 25, 26. Thank y'all for subscribing and listening to us, tuning in. We really appreciate it. This is something we're only on episode. This is 7, we're still fresh to this. There's many things we can improve on. We'll take any suggestions. Y'all throw them out there to us.
Yeah, put them in the comments.
Comment on it. Let us know. Like, people done told us they love the overtime segment, so we're gonna keep that rolling. I got a couple buddies that guess the questions while we doing them, so they get a good laugh too, because they trying to figure out. I bet you that Marquise Colston question gonna throw them off.
Oh, I was gonna throw everybody off.
Yeah, so they got that, and then I'd like to give a big shout out to the Ball Hawk podcast. They be tuning into us, some good guys, and they just they interact with us all the time on Twitter. So if you got some free time, you want to check out another good podcast, it's pretty good. Ball Hawks podcast, that was a good one.
All right. I think that wraps up this episode. Everybody, thank you for coming out, viewing the video. We'll be posting every Tuesday. All your news, anything that you want for the NFL upcoming season, please check us out. Cover 4 with the guys. I'm Nick, got Marquise and Terrance with me. Y'all have a good night.
I got $20 if Falcons aren't winning. Get to 11 wins.